Yes, lads, what is going on? And welcome to season 3, episode 20, I think, of The Running Irishman. I know this is a bit of kind of like a weird episode. We never usually have an episode going out on a Wednesday. It's currently Tuesday for me, but hopefully I can get this out for Wednesday, so for tomorrow. And it's basically just, I know I haven't posted on a Monday, and where I usually record the episodes on a Sunday and post them out on a Monday. I haven't done that in about 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. So is 9:30 on a Tuesday evening. I decided I'm gonna hop on and I'm gonna kind of give you all a bit of an update on really what's been going on, where my running's been at, and because obviously a lot can happen and a lot can change over the course of 2 weeks. So we decided I'm going to give you all a little bit of an update and kind of some I don't know, clearance or whatever on where things have at with me and my running at the moment. So the first thing that I have written down here is this gonna be quite a chill, laid back episode, like nothing too crazy, just real, informal, and not needing to be worrying about anything. So the first thing I have written down here is the fact that just to kind of give some clarity on why I didn't upload the past 2 weeks and on a Sunday. And obviously I still had the past two guests, which is Craig Engels and Ari Clow, which have been absolutely amazing. You all have been blowing that up hugely, so I really do appreciate you all for that. And we are one subscriber away from 260 subscribers. So if you are listening to this, or if you're watching and you are not already subscribed, make sure to head over to The Running Irishman on YouTube and make sure to subscribe. But yeah, just in terms of not uploading on Mondays like I was the past while now, and it's just pretty much it kind of links in with a point I have here is like I'm not going to do Sunday episodes unless I have something to talk about. And this week, as of so far the week I'm running, there's been nothing to talk about so far. So it's currently Tuesday, obviously. Last week there actually was one thing. I didn't think it was too big of a deal to kind of make a whole episode around it. And then the week before there was nothing. So that's why that's why 2 weeks ago there was no Monday episode. And yeah, so then for last week, I didn't think really of doing the episode, and because I obviously had this in my head, I didn't announce this to any of you yet. So this is the first time this is being mentioned. The fact that I I'm not going to be doing episodes unless there's something to actually talk about, because if you go on to like my channel, you can see there's episodes with 300, 400, 500, 100, 200 views. And they're either ones with me that have something big to talk about, a new PB, highest ever mileage, 5k PB, 10k PB. I'm injured, I'm taking a break, something like that, where I have to actually clarify. Joshua appears in the chat. Oh yes, Daddy, let's go, boys. By the way, one thing, kind of off topic for a second, is I'm going to be keeping, so the fact I'm live streaming over on twitch.tv/RunIrishman1, links are down in the description. I'm going to be keeping this stuff in, especially these Monday episodes of the podcast, that obviously I'm going to try to get back on schedule for them. And obviously if we have some fan questions when we have guests on, I'm going to keep them in as well. But especially for these episodes where it's a bit more informal, I don't need to be kind of going out my way to be, more formal for the guests that I have on. So so yeah, if you want to interact with me a bit more, all the links are down in the description. So yeah, Joshua Peters in the chat. Let's go, lads. But yeah. So the kind of 2 points I have written down here, in terms of not uploading on the past two Sundays and not uploading if something doesn't happen during the week, but then the fact of, like, having that longest ever run, I wasn't really thinking about uploading a whole, or doing a whole episode of the podcast dedicated around it. But I kind of came to my senses here tonight, and I decided I may as well. Obviously I do have a few more points that I can go down through. Obviously there is what I'm explaining here now. Why I haven't been uploading, and obviously there's still the week of training that I can be talking about as well. Obviously, and last week was quite high mileage, and I kind of want to dive deep into last week's training. So I'm happy I kind of come to my senses and are and they're doing an episode. I know it's a very late one. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so technically for me right now it's only one day late. But no, for you it'll obviously be 2 days when it goes out live. So starting off, so yeah, kind of just to wrap that all up. And so in this episode, we we have the thing that I've been mentioning pretty much this entire, was it being like 6 minutes, is being the fact that last week I had the longest ever run, and it was so it was my longest ever run, and it was 17k. Again, like there's not too much in it. Why I was thinking not to do a full episode of the podcast around it, but I decided to throw it in there, and uh, actually, you know what? I've confused everything. So this with the longest ever run was 2 weeks ago, and these runs and sessions that I'm gonna read out to you now about the week training were last week. So about the not uploading over the past 2 weeks, um I didn't think I had anything to upload for this week. So what should have been out yesterday. And then I didn't think that dedicating a whole episode about a long run 2 weeks ago was good enough. So what I've done was kind of just thrown all together into one episode. So I kind of just swapped that around. I didn't upload last week because nothing happened. I didn't upload the week before because I didn't think dedicating a whole episode of the podcast around one long run was quite a good idea. So yeah, in terms of that long run, kind of just to get out of the way, it's kind of being the elephant in the room at the moment. It was 17k. So actually, I don't have it written down here. I'll look it up. What 17k is in miles? I probably should know this. What is 17k in miles? It is 10.56 miles. So yeah, that is pretty cool. So my longest I've run, I remember at the start of it, it's gone really slow, feeling nice and easy. Look at my watch, it's gone 420 per kilometer, which is faster than a lot of the runs that I've been doing lately. So I was really, really happy with that. Even though I was feeling good going slow, I still took it down a bit because I probably still would have that negative effect on my legs. But yeah, I ended up then averaging about 440, 430 per kilometer. I ended up going the full 17k, which I was really, really happy with. Them big numbers, for them long runs really do sound good, and I really do like it. So yeah, that is all the stuff really about that longest ever run that I've done. See, that's the thing. Like, I didn't feel like that itself was enough for one episode of the podcast. So having that 2 weeks ago, and then not really having much to talk about last week, kind of throwing them all together into one episode, I feel like was the better decision, and that is what I'm doing right now. So yeah, all the points I had here. Talk about not uploading on the Sundays, and not uploading unless there's something actually interesting to talk about, and also the longest ever run that I done. It was really a nice and easy 17k run. I was really, really happy with it, and yeah, hopefully more things do be happening. There will actually be. I'm not too sure about this Monday because this week there hasn't been anything crazy, crazy, crazy that has been going on whatsoever. It's just been a normal week. Um, but next Monday, so not Monday coming, so Monday week basically, there will definitely be an episode because that will be the first full week back training with the team. So we're definitely gonna have to talk a lot about that, which I'm obviously super, super, super excited for. So I cannot wait for that. Um, you never know, maybe something could pop up at the end of this week, and I could be doing another episode on Sunday, but as well, like it doesn't these episodes don't get as much traction as obviously ones with guests. So unless something big does happen, again, I will not be doing an episode for it. Sorry for all you people that actually, all you 50, 60 people 70 people, 80 people, 100-ish people every now and then for these Sunday episodes that do watch and do listen to them, and they may not be as frequent as you would like them to be. Again, this episode is not hugely running based. Obviously, we had the longest run, and we're going to get into this episode, into last week's training. Obviously, that run, the 17K, was 2 weeks ago, but yeah, again, it's not hugely running based. It's just gonna be kind of a catch up and all as well. So yeah, that's kind of the sus with that. One last thing, I have no weather for this episode for last week's training because I didn't, I knew from early on that it wouldn't be an episode worth doing. But then I just tied these two, and which might be another thing I will continue to do in the future. If there wasn't maybe one thing in 1 week that maybe isn't too big to stick in one episode, and then next week, we might have a decent week of training, quite, high mileage. I might just end up throwing them together, like I done this week, and yeah, kind of just collaborating two weeks of training into one. So yeah, if you like that concept, make sure to leave a like. James Kelly in the chat. Oh yeah, Pappy, let's go, James. So yeah, kind of that's the sus with this week anyway. Not no weather, but Weatherman Killer won't be on the scene for maybe another 2 weeks. Obviously, I'm gonna go all in for the week that we are back with the team. But yeah, that's just the sus there. So starting off with last week. This is now last week's training. It was Monday, so we had a 45-minute run, 9.82k, at 4:48 per kilometer, or 6.10 miles at 7:44 per mile. Yeah, not a great run. I'm gonna talk kind of more about the runs now as we get further down through this week of training. But yeah, not too great of a run, not too bad. My coach actually gave me, because remember, if you're talking about my knees were hurting me for a while, my coach gave me, a good idea that I'll get more into now in a minute, about kind of how to hopefully, stop stop them pains, in a way. And yeah, that's what I'm going to get into when we get to it. So moving on to Tuesday, it was a 50-minute run. It was just meant to be a 45-minute run, but it ended up being 50 minutes because of what my coach told me. He told me to get down to a place called Abbottstown beside my house, where there's the cross country course where I do my races, and it's fully open for anyone to go in and run on. He said, run onto the grass. There's hills there. It'll help build up a little bit of strength. You will end up going a little bit slower, but that's all right. It's all about just keeping healthy, and that's exactly what I done. So I went up to Abbottstown, went onto the grass, and I done a 50-minute run there. It was only meant to be 45, as I said, but running up, running back, and running around there, I ended up just going a little bit over time. So it was 11.02k at 4:54 per kilometer, or 6.83 miles at 7:28 per mile. As I said, like the 4:54 per kilometer, that is quite slow. But these runs during the week, these midweek runs, aren't meant to be super fast and not meant to, be dying too badly on them. So yeah, it was just kind of more focused in on keeping it easy. The hills are disgraceful on this course, but yeah, no, it was just all about keeping it simple and trying to get the recovery in on the knees. So moving on to Wednesday, I didn't go up to Abbottstown on Wednesday, just because I was thinking, if there's not enough time to run up and back and stuff and run around there. So I just done a run myself, 45 minutes, 9.59k, 4:42 per kilometer. So already you can see a 12-second difference per kilometer, by just being on the road. 5.96 miles, or 7:33 per mile. Yeah, not a great run whatsoever. Didn't feel too good. But we got it done. I haven't been feeling too great on my runs lately. I'll get more into that, into the question of the week at the end of this episode. But yeah, haven't been feeling too great on them at all lately. Today's run, actually, obviously, I'll because maybe it won't be an episode next Monday. I'll just get into it a little bit. Today's run was actually quite good. I was quite happy with it. It felt decent. Really trying to get stuck in with the recovery, which again I'll dive a bit more into it near the end of this episode when I talk about the question of the week on why I haven't been feeling great on my run. So yeah, moving on then to the another 50-minute run. This week I went up to Abbottstown again, and the same as Monday, went up. It was only meant to be a 45-minute run. Went up, and yeah, just kind of done it easy again. Didn't take didn't consider or take into consideration about the times or anything. Was just trying to keep it easy again. It kind of evens out in a way because I'm going a few seconds slower, but there's hills, so it's kind of building that strength by going a little bit slower, and obviously getting that nice and easy recovery in. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. So I ended up doing 10.62k or 4:45 per kilometer, or 6.06 miles at 7:38 per mile. Again, not the best run. Obviously, the grass is a little bit harder to run on, but not too bad overall. And yeah, that is pretty. That's pretty much. Oh, sorry. No, moving on to Thursday. Then we had a 50-minute run, which was actually identical to Wednesday's run here by the statistics. It was 10.62k or 4:45 per kilometer, or 6.79 miles at 7:42 per mile. Yeah, you can kind of see, even on the Thursday runs, I'm really hitting the not really hitting that 11k mark like I was a few weeks ago. That's just kind of because I've been a little bit on and off, not as consistent as maybe I would have liked to be. But yeah, that's probably the reason for that. But not to worry with that. Obviously, I'll get more into kind of why my runs again have been a little bit off now in a moment. Moving then on to Friday. Friday was a rest day. I went out and played a little bit of football with my mates. That was great crack, and I kind of paid for it then on Saturday. So Saturday I had a session. I done a pyramid session, so it was a fartlek. It was like a on off session. So we done 1 minute on, 2 minute on, 3 minute on, 4 minute on, 3 minute on, 2 minute on, 1 minute on, with 1 minute jog in between each. So I was actually really stiff. I even told my coach I was quite stiff down for this session, and obviously playing the football wasn't the greatest idea. I was a lot more stiff than I usually was. I don't know why. But in saying that, I did kind of listen to my body and weight. I didn't go mad on the session. It was quite a warm day, so that helped, make it a little bit tougher as well, to kind of make up for the pace not being as fast. So I went easy enough through it. Like I was hurting a little bit, but I went easy enough through the session. I done 5 point, and you'll see here now in the in the pace, it was not the fastest ever, especially for a session. 5.22k at 4:24 per kilometer, or 3.25 miles at 7:05 per mile. The pace also does include the slow parts, so do remember that. It's not only just for the fast parts. So even though, yes, I did go a little bit slower, just kind of listening to my body a bit, it was also just because um it was also just because that does include the slow parts as well. And in terms of, like, if it was a minute on, minute off, obviously that would have been a lot faster anyway. But because you're running for you're running for less, it's it's kind of like you don't need as much of a recovery. But especially when you start throwing 3 minutes and 4 minute running segments there into the session, you start needing to go a little bit slower on the slow parts, which is obviously what they're there for, getting the right recovery in during the session, and sufficient rest. But yeah, in terms of pace, it definitely wasn't an optimal session, but it was nice and solid. I didn't kill myself, and I felt pretty decent. So yeah, not too bad whatsoever. Then moving on to Sunday, 75-minute run, 15.808k, nowhere near my like the longest run I was talking about at the start of the episode. 15.08k at 4:58 per kilometer, or 9.37 miles at 8 minutes flat per mile. Ran really slow on the grass up in Abbottstown again on Sunday, just like I was doing a few days during the week. And yeah, it felt really nice. Felt like I got a good recovery in on the grass. And yeah, not too bad of a run overall. In terms of the total K last week, it was quite high in terms of mileage. And I feel like I have, what do I have here? Like the 11k on Monday, the 10k Tuesday, the 11k Wednesday, near enough 11k Thursday, quite a big enough session Saturday, and 15k Sunday. I feel like if I felt better this week and had them 50-minute runs, had the 3 50-minute runs, I could have possibly broken my highest mileage, but it just obviously was not meant to be. And I ended up doing 62.45k or 58.80k, which I'm obviously really, really happy with. And maybe this week or next week, who knows? We can break that mileage. Actually, maybe not next week. I feel like that mileage is gonna go down now a little bit since I'm back with the team. So that means more sessions, and more sessions means kind of less mileage in a way. But that's all right. Kind of this base kind of spring training we were going through was kind of to get that base in for then a hard summer block of summer training on the track, and getting some speed, hurting like mad, getting some speed, and really starting to inject that bit of that bit of intensity into the running, which I feel like I've been lacking maybe over the past few weeks. Actually, I want to keep that for the question of the week. I want to kind of really dive into the whole team aspect now in the question of the week. So just before we do that, total miles this week was 38.80 miles. So definitely nice to see them big numbers. So kind of diving into the question of the week, which I am really, really excited for, because it gets me to share my mind on, or to speak my mind even on kind of the runs, how the runs and all have been going this the past while. So why were my runs bad last week, and why haven't I been feeling super amazing over the past while? So to kick that question off, in terms of the past week, maybe it was just not a great week in terms of runs. You have weeks like that where things just aren't really clicking, which is definitely okay. But I think over the past few weeks in particular, when I found out we are going back to the club on the 27th of April, it kind of been just a case of just hang on in there. It hasn't been a case of getting these good quality sessions in, which obviously I'm not doing on purpose. Obviously, I'd been liking to get the good quality sessions in, but yeah, unfortunately, that is not the case for the moment. Just it's not where kind of my mind is at in a way. And I just kind of want to get it going in terms of getting back with the team, and again getting that kind of intensity which I mentioned has been lacking slightly in my training. I I've been doing the runs, getting the high mileage, which I've mentioned is kind of the basis, which is obviously a really good basis and foundation to be working off. But yeah, I'd really like to get back training, get back on the track, get back into the tough sessions with the team, because yes, the sessions do feel harder with the team, but that's because you're working harder and going faster, and you have people there to drag you along, and it's really, really great. Hopefully, now having this basis, I'm going to be able to really build off that. What I've decided to do is next Monday. So yeah, next Monday, I will be kind of taking that day off. It'll be the first day back before it'll be the day before getting back with the team. So I decided to take that day off, and to kind of use it as like a taper in a way before I get back to make sure the legs are fully fresh, ready to go. Because I think we're actually doing a session on the track the first day back, which is obviously really, really good. Looking forward to that. But yeah, over the past while, when I found out we're getting back with the team, it's kind of just been a case of wanting to get back, and I'm just been getting really kind of bored in a way of just being running on my own, not having that social aspect, which I really, really do like. But it does show discipline. It has definitely disciplined me in terms of running. It's just in terms of running, not disciplined as a person. Not really messing. Um, but yeah, and definitely giving that discipline to stay, kind of trying to stay motivated. I have definitely not been staying fully motivated. Even though I haven't really missed any training whatsoever on purpose. There's obviously 1 or 2 days where I kind of had to take time off, because I haven't been feeling good, knees, groins, glutes, something was at me. But I have been keeping focused, and hopefully now this has really allowed me to build onto when we get back training. As I mentioned numerous times, getting that intensity back in, getting the really good quality sessions and seeing them times drop, because my coach has mentioned that maybe we could do a few of them club races. If you remember, we done them last track season. Oh no, it was cross country season where there was no races. We done the track races. Remember, I set the 17:35 5K and all that a while back, and yeah, hopefully then when we get good few track sessions in, good few speed sessions, which I think I might need. I don't think my speed is actually too bad at the moment, but if we get a good few speed sessions in, I should be raring to go to break a few PBs, which I'm really looking forward to. Whether it's just club races within the club, whether it's full on races, which I'm not too confident about going ahead. But yeah, uh. I just feel like I'm at a good place. I wouldn't say I'm the fittest I've ever been, but I think I'm at the most potential to be the fittest I've ever been at the moment. I feel like after a few weeks of good hard sessions, and keeping on top of recovery and staying healthy and not getting injured and keeping motivated, especially with that team around, it'll be a lot easier. Even the lads are saying they just can't wait to get back, and I'm really, really excited obviously as well to get back and kind of start to drop these times down a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the question of the week. Why my runs being bad, kind of wrap it up. Just being kind of counting down the days, counting down the hours, the minutes, the seconds, whatever you want to put it as, until we're back with the team. So it's kind of been like my mind is being elsewhere in a way, and also I'm kind of getting a bit fatigued, a bit bored of being on my own. So yeah, that's kind of just to wrap up that actual question, and then building on that, can't wait. I feel like I'm the fittest I've ever been. I have the potential to be the fittest I've ever been and break some PBs, and kind of just really getting back to the team and injecting that bit of intensity into the work and into the training. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited about it. Last thing, before we wrap this episode up, it's coming up to 30 minutes. Again, at the start it was kind of all over the place, just giving a bit of an update, talking about why there hasn't been a Monday episode over the past 2 weeks, talking about the schedule in terms of the Monday episodes. The Thursday episodes are saying the exact same. Obviously, if when I have the opportunity to get a guest on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The last thing I want to talk about is I've actually made a new intro. It's not going to be like a big mad intro at the start of each episode or whatever. It's just going to be like when I'm like, just say after introducing a guest on the podcast, or I might put at the start of the episode when Lynn I'm on my own, and it's I'll put it at the end of this episode. If you want to give it a watch or a listen, it's pretty much gonna be from just I'm introducing a guest. It's gonna be when I talk about them and everything, and then the gap between me getting into the episode and the episode starting, the gap between that is when the intro will play. It's only a 30-second intro, and I made it all myself. It's I really, really do like it. There's actually some music in it by DJ Lewis O'Loughlin that who is on the podcast. So make sure to check him out over on Spotify. As I said, I'll play the intro at the end. I'm really excited for all of you to hear it. And yeah, that pretty much does it for this episode of the podcast. Hopefully I have a 3K virtual race coming up that I've kindly been asked to do by Phelim Kelly, who is also on the podcast. I was talking to him. I was getting in touch with all the people that are in the intro, asking if I have their permission to put them in it, and they've all said yes. They've all kindly said yes. But when I was talking to Phelim, he said he's setting up a 3K kind of virtual race where you get a t-shirt, and it's something to do if you're still going to be training on your own. So I'll put Phelim's email down in the description below if you want to email him and get in touch with him. And kind of just get involved with this 3K if you want to change it up from your everyday normal runs and sessions that you've been doing on your own, and kind of spice it up and mix it up a little bit. So Phelim's email will be down in the description below if you want to get in touch with him and that. No details or anything have been finalised about it, but if you kind of just want to get your name and email in there to be updated when things go live, make sure to get in touch with Phelim. I appreciate him inviting me along and allowing me to join and partake in it. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that and how I do in it. He's actually on his. You get sent out a t-shirt. Well, he send me out a t-shirt. You get in touch with him yourself. Nothing is set in stone yet, and get your name in there. So without further ado, guys, thank you all very, very much for listening or watching this very, very informal episode of the podcast. I will say it was kind of all over the place with the start, mixing up the long run and this week or last week's training. As well, it was just an update. High mileage this week, which I'm happy with. I will see you when we are back with the team with, kind of proper training, a lot to talk about. Really can't wait. That'll be Monday week. That episode will be coming out 100%. Can't wait to talk about that with all you guys. And without further ado, roll the intro. See y'all next time. Bye. Yes, lads, what is going on?
My name is Amy O'Donoghue.
People call me Dr. Josh.
My name's Lewis O'Loughlin.
My name is Isolde O'Donnell.
I'm Charlie O'Donovan.
I'm Abdul Jill.
I'm Scott Fagan.
I'm Mark Conrad.
My name's Cormac Dalton.
I'm Paul Byrne.
I'm Michael Morgan.
More than a runner.
The Irish Hammer.
My name's Brennan. I'm Brian Fay.
It's Dash Bar.
I am a triathlete.
Craig Engels, Cheryl Nolan, Sean Donoghue, John Rankin.
We got 10th at the World Championships in 2019 in Doha.
I'm doing great. Just happy to be on the podcast.
I'm a Man United fan.
Let's get into this episode of the podcast.